What's up, guys? Iceman here. So, folks be saying that Diablo 4 needs to have some qualities that Diablo 2 had, of course. Some of those qualities include faster cast rate on items and faster hit recovery. And perhaps most importantly, which might be up for debate, I don't know, is attack rating. You see, attack rating is something that a lot of games seem to have done away with in terms of its mechanic, including Diablo 3. And I don't know if Path of Exile has attack rating or not. Let me know in the comments below if you guys know. But you see, yeah, Diablo 3 took it a different way, and where your character can always hit the enemy. Attack rating was quite a challenge, and it was exciting to try and achieve, I think, in Diablo 2. Like mine, with this character, kind of sucks right now, especially if she attempts to kill a higher level enemy. Like these guys right here. They're in the level 83 area or so, or 81. And she has only a 69% chance to hit them. But of course, this is an assassin, and that's not her focus. Her focus is her traps, in this build anyway. And her minion, and stuff like that. And Blades of Ice, which I think always hits, but your physical weapon doesn't always hit, or some shit like that. But nonetheless, it was rewarding, I think. Like with my Amazon, for example, when you started hitting level 91, level 92, level 93, and all of a sudden she was more capable of hitting super high-end monsters, even bosses like Diablo and Baal, and in Path of Diablo, in the maps, just like the Path of Exile maps, kind of, where you fight the highest monsters in the game. So there was that sense of achievement when your Amazon could shoot multi-shot and just start hitting like every damn monster in sight. Whereas earlier when she was level 60, level 70, it was a damn challenge. Radamant Sphere, holy shield. Look at this hog. Let's identify that. But yeah, I'm wondering is that a mechanic that's essential, you know what I mean, for Diablo 4? Because, I don't know, I mean, like I said, it seems to have its reasons for being in game. But if they were to do away with it and your character could just always hit the enemies, it's hard to say if that's going to have like a lasting appeal to it, or are little things like attack rating part of what makes Diablo 2 so toad. And in addition to that, defense, where enemies can't even hit you if you have a lot of defense, or they do hit you a lot if you don't. Whereas a lot of games now, it seems that instead of defense meaning the enemy can't hit you the higher you have it, or that being a chance of it anyway, it just gives your character more damage reduction. So the enemies still hit her like cray. But do we want in Diablo 4 the old school way of defense? Where you could actually just stand there as like a godly paladin. Like you'd see these paladins with defiance and all this shiny ass armor on them. They just look so toad. And they could just stand around a bunch of melee enemies, and the enemies would just swing at them and just wouldn't be able to hit them. So it really differentiates the classes and the build types. It adds more to it all, right? When you can't hit them and shit. Or when you can hit them if you have a ton of attack rating. And sometimes that was the deciding factor in a duel. You know what I mean? If you both have attack rating, and one of you has like hoggish attack rating compared to the other, you can kill more shit that way. And you could always have the upper hand against your foe if you like stack a ton of attack rating gear. Of course, it's always at a sacrifice, right? Like you're going to be sacrificing like power and stuff like that, or resist. But nonetheless, that was a battle in its own. Can I hit my opponent? Do I need more attack rating? Do I need to up the penetrate skill with the Amazon so she has just godly attack rating? but at the sacrifice of not having max immolation arrow synergies. You're definitely going to have max immolation arrow if you follow Iceman's build. Probably the synergies as well, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? Like, do we need attack rating and defense to work as it does in Diablo 2, in Diablo 4? Or do you guys want it to be reworked? Or similar to how it was in Diablo 3? Let me know in the comments below. There's a lot of shit to cover, you know what I mean? But, yeah, these videos these days are important, I think, because I think Blizzard are most prone to listen to us in the earlier days of development of Diablo 4. Of course, it's been in development for maybe a couple years now, but it still has a ways to go. So I think they're still willing to change shit up some. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Between attack rating and defense, do you want it to be like it is in Diablo 2, or do you want it to be reworked? And you know what? I've been playing Diablo 3, dog. And I know you might want to talk shit about that, and if you do, just do it in the comments below. But I've been playing a little bit of Diablo 3 over the past couple days. I'm at like 500 Paragon level with a wizard. I just finally completed my Veer set, the Archon set. But here's the thing. I found out that the season's about to end. It might even end in a couple days or some shit. So I'm thinking about doing the next season. I don't know. But here's what I come to find, all right? You know, a lot of people bitch. Diablo 3 has a ton of issues. And, I mean, I bitched about it so much on this channel, I don't even fucking feel like it right now. But, I mean, it's not a bad game overall, you know what I mean? Especially later on, with all these refinements. It's not a good Diablo game, but it's okay. It's okay to fuck around with for a few minutes, all right? And one of the many issues, of course, is how sets are the end game. So everyone's all run the same build. And you have stupid numbers like 60,000 damage bonus for wearing this set, this 6 set piece, or 10,000 damage bonus. You know, so you're just, you have no choice. You just have to wear the sets if you want to have the endgame build. But here's what they're doing, all right? For this coming season, I just found this out, and it kind of interests me a little bit. They are introducing this little gem. Because, of course, in Greater Rifts, there's like 25 gems or something that you can get every time you complete one. And you'll get them all if you run it 25 times. You won't get like 2 of each gem or whatever. And there's just a random chance. But apparently this one is going to have a really early drop rate where you should get it the first, second, or third gem drop. Now what it does is, of course, you pop it in jewelry, in either one of your rings or your amulet. And here's what it does. It sounds kind of interesting because it's going to enable builds that are not going to be relying on sets. In fact, you're going to have to refuse to use the sets if you want to take advantage of this little Legacy of Dreams gem. Yeah, it can be inserted into jewelry with sockets. And while you have no set bonuses equipped, every legendary item you have equipped increases your damage dealt by 375%. Now, this is at rank 99, okay? So this person ran GR like 100 plus to get this thing to 99. So at level 1, instead of 375% damage bonus, it's gonna be like 22%. All right? Damage dealt, and reduces your damage taken by 2% for every legendary. Now this bonus is doubled for ancient items, which of course, ancient items are just an upgraded version of the same legendary with potentially higher stats. So it sounds like this is going to mix it up a little bit, all right? And yeah, I'm kind of interested in playing just for a few minutes. I just wanted to mix things up a little bit. And after seeing all these Diablo 4 videos, I'm like, shit, does this really look like Diablo 3? At first, I thought it looked like Path of Exile. Then I started to get a little pissed off, dog. I started thinking this shit looks like Diablo 3. But now looking at it, because I've been playing Diablo 3, Diablo 4 looks a lot like Path of Exile, which I think is a good thing. Of course, they have some of the enemies that look like they're straight out of Diablo 3, and I really wouldn't mind if they get rid of that shit. You know, for one, why do enemies have to be so fucking big in Diablo 4? In Diablo 2, especially early on, you're fighting these tiny little guys. See this shit? These guys are like 3 or 4 feet tall. You know, it doesn't take away from the game experience. In fact, it's a good time if you choose to run these enemies once in a while, because you can just obliterate them. And you can just, the screen can just be filled with these little guys, and you can just go to earlier stages and stuff and kill them. Why does Diablo 4 have to have all the fucking enemies like taller than your character? That's another big problem that I don't think they should feel like they have to do. Take it back to how it was in Diablo 2 and 1, where you have a variety of sizes. You know, especially in Diablo 2, where later on, it starts to intensify. Like in Act 4, you start seeing these larger enemies. You know, and I thought that really added to the immersion of you entering the depths of hell. Like, these enemies are freaking thick. And especially the Pit Lords and the Venom Lords and all that. I'm not seeing you right now. Well, here's Hephasto, the Hellforge guy. He's pretty tall. But yeah, that's kind of what threw me off, I think, with watching the gameplay of Diablo 4, is just seeing how it seems like most of the enemies are freaking huge. I think they should have more, like, smaller enemies, too. So let me know in the comments if you guys want that shit going on. It's not a big deal, it's not a huge deal, but it's big enough. You know, you gotta have some variety with the enemies. And earlier on, fight smaller enemies. And it adds variety to the gameplay, because sometimes you want to just go and kill those tiny little guys when they're in massive mobs. Whereas the larger ones, you can't fit all that many on the screen. And plus, they get in the way where you can't see shit. When there's so many of the big ones around, you can't see shit of what's going on. Just look at Diablo 3. That's how it is in the game. Your character's just in the middle, just exploding. And you have these huge monsters just swarming her, right? And you can't even see what she's doing. Of course, being Diablo 3, it's just a shit show. Boom, boom, boom. It's just fireworks, which has to be done away with as well, right? But let me know. You know, bring back the smaller enemies a little bit. And like this video if you guys will. Oh, shit. You're a fucking dumbass. I had this thing up when I thought I was slaying monsters, and you guys could see it. But yeah, you know what I was talking about, right? You saw half of that shit. But anyway, yeah, I might be playing just for a little bit the season, and it might be as early as the 15th or whatever the next Friday is. You know, Diablo 3, the new season's going to start with this new gem in a couple weeks, folks are saying. So anyway, like this video, hit the thumbs up button, become a patron if you want. Thank you to my patrons for supporting the Iceman. More videos to come. Peace be with you.